My name is Jesse Kurtenbach and I'm with South Dakota Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We are calling on all South Dakota sportsmen and women to join us in defending traditional access to South Dakota public waters. We need you to stand against extending the current legislation by 3 years, again kicking the can down the road. Sportsmen's groups deserve a seat at the table to work on a real compromise. Please join us in contacting the legislators to demand sportsman-friendly amendments or to simply define recreation as a beneficial use of these waters. We are traveling a one-way path to losing recreational opportunities to no trespassing signs on public waters.
People have been coming here for 20 years, long before I bought this place. And they come here with, their fathers and their grandparents and their children and grandchildren. And they come in, and this is a family tradition.
Historically, water has always been held in public trust, meaning that the public owned and held the water. In effect, what our state legislature has done has turned that trust over to the landowners. So these landowners are now able to close what are supposed to be public waters.
Now, I've been traveling South Dakota the past year and I have not heard yet one valid reason why now land barons are wanting to take away the public trust from the people of South Dakota. I've hunted and fished for over 50 years and it has worked well in the past 100. The ecology has not changed, the cycles have not changed, so what has?
A few years ago, some landowners in the state sued the state of South Dakota to reclaim what they thought was their right to that water. They were successful to a certain degree, and the effect of that has been to shut out the sportsmen and sportswomen.
My customers, they didn't come. I was expecting to be affected because Dry 2 is about 30 miles from here. So I knew I would get a hit, but I was not prepared for the impact it had on my businesses.
If my clients are not coming, I cannot take my clients to the motels. While we're at the motel, we go to the restaurants. Before we go fishing, we stop and get bait, gas, little snacks, stuff for out in the lake. Well, if we can't fish these lakes, then that all trickles down.
Many out-of-state sportsmen have found other states to hunt and fish in, and even other countries like Canada. Once that happens, it's almost impossible to get them to return unless they have a poor experience. That translates into lost revenue to state and private business.
It was October, and I had a guy come up from Nebraska, and he said he usually comes up with a group of 5 or 6 guys. He came by himself because his buddies didn't want to get up here and find out that they couldn't fish where they wanted to. They don't know what's open, what's closed. People are so confused, both in-state and out-of-state residents. We don't know what's going on.
What we're hearing is the out-of-state guys who used to come to South Dakota are now finding other places to go, and they are not coming back. They've found new places for their new traditions and their new get-togethers, and it's not South Dakota anymore.
Tourism is always complaining about getting people to come into the state to go hunt, to go fish, to go camp, to enjoy all the recreational opportunities that are out there, and taking some of the best away doesn't sound like a very smart business plan when you're trying to generate those funds to keep the gas stations open, keep those little towns alive, and create opportunities for families to enjoy. Where it impacts me personally is, number one, my job. I have met lots of friends and even family members that do have those guide businesses where they're taking out ice fishermen, open water fishermen, pheasant hunters, and all of that. And it does impact them. I mean, friends have had to shut down shop because of that, and it's really sad to say that I was there to witness what could have been controlled. Probably from a lack of education.
If you would like to know more about how you can help us with this fight, visit Facebook, South Dakota Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and on the World Wide Web, visit backcountryhunters.org.